Hello and welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, strategies, and insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today I'm very lucky to be joined by Priscila Martinez of the Brand Agency. How's it going, Priscilla?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for being on. And Priscilla, first of all, I would just love to start this off by learning a little bit more about your background and a little bit more about the brand agency.
Absolutely. So I am a dinosaur. I have been doing PR for about 20 years. So if you can believe it, we were sending press releases via fax when I started, which is so crazy to think about. And the brand agency is my baby. I started the agency 10 years ago. I had been at the largest privately held agency for about 8.5, 9 years before putting up my own shingle and just have never looked back. We service Fortune 5 companies. Amazon, Apple have been longtime clients. We also work with a ton of really cool startups and retailers like a Sephora, Aloe. We have a really nice, robust client list that I'm very lucky to be able to work with.
Wow, that's awesome. And I didn't wouldn't for 1 second believe that you've been in marketing for 20 years. I thought you were like 28 or 29 years.
You're very sweet, very
So
kind.
I mean, just as a question for the clients that you serve, these are clients that traditionally are very hard to work with. There's a lot of barriers to entry. How to get yourself to a level or get your agency to a level where you guys can be on the same level as these clients and say, hey, we can help you. This is where you're falling short, and this is where we can come in for you.
Yeah, I want to give myself more credit for being strategic and really thinking through how to get our foot in the door with these clients. But the truth of the matter is that it's 50% luck, 50% hard work. The first call I got with Amazon was for a project that nobody wanted to take on. And they said it's impossible. Nobody can get PR on this type of activation. And when I got the call, I was just very hungry. I was starting out, the agency was less than 1 year old and I knew that it was an opportunity I couldn't pass by. So I said, we'll take it. And lo and behold, we did such a good job that they have stayed on. And we've been
Wow.
doing the same type of work for them. We're going on year 9. I think the answer is obviously network matters a lot. I had to have had established my network and my name to get to a point where I would get a call like that. But I think the second part of the equation is making sure that you are always open and always making decisions out of thinking through what the future for the company is, not making decisions out of fear, right? If I would have been fearful about not being able to rise up to Amazon's expectations or be able to get the project in a good place, I probably would have said no. But given that in that time in the agency's life, I was hungry and looking to grow, it just was perfect alchemy. And here we are 10 years later.
Wow. Yeah. And that's cool that you've not only been able to work with those clients, but also been able to work with those clients for so long. It's a testament to
Yeah.
the work you guys do. So you started the brand agency with a goal of leading with culture and creating a healthier environment in PR. So what are some of the biggest cultural shifts you wanted to make from the start?
Yeah, you have to remember too, when I started in PR, it was the girl boss era. We were all hustling, and it was just an environment that was very cutthroat, especially in PR, right? And things have changed, I think, post COVID. Norms have changed in the workplace. A lot of things have changed. But if you think back on that time, it was cutthroat, it was catty, there was a lot going on. So I loved the work that I was doing. I absolutely adored the work day in and day out, getting results for clients, working with these types of clients. But I didn't like the culture that came with something like a PR career. So when I started, I remember very intentionally putting myself back in that employee seat and figuring out, okay, if I'm making a decision about this, how would I have felt when I was back at an agency myself? Or how would this sort of make me feel as an employee if I was the one getting the mandate versus me now passing on the mandate, right? So making sure that you're looking at things through that lens, I think helps get you to good decisions. And I think ultimately that's what created the culture, right? I wanted to create a space where people wanted to come into work, where they liked the people that they were working alongside with. And we've been lucky enough to have been able to create that. And I thoroughly enjoy coming into work and spending time with colleagues. We're hybrid now. So again, also very different. Before it was, we had desktops, we didn't even have laptops. So you were in the office if you had to work. So all of those things have changed. But I think the North Star for culture hasn't for me, right? Making sure that this is a place that you want to come to and that you feel comfortable with and that you can grow at your own pace.
And I'm sure you know this better than anybody, especially in building a business, right? At the very first, like you're focused on building the outside pipeline where you're trying to get clients and all that stuff. And then there's this level where you really have to address the inside pipeline. It's the people
Yeah.
you hire and the culture you have. And it seems like you really wanted to attack both of those things right from the start very intentionally. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, I was lucky enough that hard work and putting out good work for clients got me to a place where there was a lot of incoming business. So it gave me that luxury to be able to be more intentional and think a little bit deeper about culture and make decisions that I could live with and decisions that didn't have to be rushed or hurried because we were,
Yeah.
stressed about the other type of pipeline. So it has been a good trajectory, certainly.
That's awesome. And to talk a little bit about the work that you guys do, when you're crafting a strategy for a luxury or a high profile client, what elements do you focus on first to make sure that the brand story resonates with modern audiences?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. And I think it varies from client to
Mhm.
client. We have a thing that we called an immersion period. So every time we sign on with a client, we ask that they sit with us for a few sessions where they just download us on everything under the sun. We need to really be immersed in their DNA so we can start thinking like them. We can start talking like them. If you think about what we do as a communications firm, we're developing a lot of the messaging, meaning a lot of the voice that this client will have. So it's important for us to get that right. And I think being very careful at the beginning to really, again, immerse yourself in with a client, make sure that you're learning their DNA, make sure that you know exactly why they do the things that they do, makes it so that then the strategies that you develop and the solutions that you're presenting them are really on point. And then that's when the magic happens, right? Because you really are an extension of that team. So yeah, we have found a lot of success in making sure that we take care of things up front, and then it makes it easier to craft messages that resonate well.
That's awesome. And I think that's something that really any agency can take is like the understanding the goal of what you're asking from your clients and what you're trying to accomplish and making sure that comes together. It's, I think a
Yep,
lot of times, maybe not just in PR, but just in general in the marketing world, people just attack each problem as it comes and it makes you very reactive. And it seems like the way that you guys approach things is to be incredibly proactive and say, this is our goal here. And how do we make sure that we achieve this together?
certainly. Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah. You're known for working closely with emerging trends and culture shifts. How do you guys help established brands stay nimble without losing that core identity?
Yeah, especially in the changing media landscape. Again, when I started, we were using fax, and then this thing called a blogger came up, and our clients were asking, should we start gifting these people? And what is the ROI there? And then Instagram came around, and now TikTok is king. You have to stay on your toes. You have
Yeah.
to really be able to do the research for the client. And again, you know the client, so you know what platforms and what new mediums they should be taking on, right? There are some brands that it makes sense for them to be putting all of their eggs in a TikTok basket. There's some other brands that we work with that their demo is a little older. So it makes sense to still keep a big fire burning over on Instagram. And
Mhm.
you have to know best practices for a lot of these things and then absorb all of that and come out on the other end with something that works for your client. So just
Yeah.
keeping tabs, making sure that you're reading up, making sure that you continue industry relationships, not just in house, but with other agencies, with other communication specialists, because you oftentimes are hearing about what's cutting edge from people in your field. Yeah, hard job. It's not like any other job where you learn the material and then that's what you use forever and ever. A lawyer or a doctor, this is something that is changing every single day. And then if a platform changes the algorithm or their ad policies, it all is constantly in flux. So just staying on top of that, I think clients really appreciate.
Yeah, and I think that's why agencies will need to be around forever because the barrier to entry to start an agency is actually very easy. But to be a really good agency, it's you've got to do exactly what you're saying. You have to be the one that's staying on top of trends and making sure that the information that you're trying to gather is relevant for your clients. And a lot of people don't do that. And so it's really
Yeah.
cool to see that you do. And looking ahead, what new challenges or exciting opportunities do you think are going to define the next era of PR and brand story?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? As much as I hate admitting it, in the advent of AI and AI writers and all of that good stuff, I think traditional media is going to take a bit of a backseat. I think a few years ago, we had clients knocking on our door, and all they wanted was earned media, meaning media that you don't pay for. You pitch an editor and you get a great story. I think people are moving away from that and more towards performance marketing, which is affiliates. If you have a product or user generated content over up on TikTok. We've seen a shift also in the type of business that we're servicing. So, whereas a few years ago, the majority of our billings were all traditional media, and now I think influencer has eclipsed that. There's still a place for traditional media, but it's not what it used to be. Yeah, there's so many changes going on. But if I had to predict, I think it would be a bit of a move away from traditional media into things that have that direct line to ROI. So anything like an influencer campaign, UGC, performance marketing.
Yeah. And that's something we're seeing with our clients too. Orange 142 is a performance marketing agency. And so we're really starting to see those questions. Hey,
Yeah.
like implement influencers within our campaign strategy. What role does UGC play? And it plays a huge role. And I think it's growing even
Mhm.
more and more. And especially as people are growing up, even on the consumer side, they're looking to become UGC creators.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy. It's a whole market. We
yeah.
just had a conversation with TikTok where we're entertaining becoming an agency that helps with UGC. And again, it just speaks to you having to be nimble and respond to the market. I can't sit here and only sell media relations when the market is not requesting that many services, right? So you have to learn these new technologies and you have to make sure that you're employing best practices and exploring them on behalf of your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Priscilla, this has been so great. Where can people learn more about you and where can people learn more about your agency?
Yeah, absolutely. So our agency is the brand-agency.com. We also have a LinkedIn page that is pretty active and we're updating with our happenings and all the great work that we're doing for clients. You can find me personally on LinkedIn. So Priscilla 1L, which is a different spelling, Martinez, and you'll find me there as well. And I'm pretty active there too.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for being on. This is great.
Thank you.